So what is going on, everyone? Fernando Silva here with another video, and Apple released iPadOS 15 Beta 5 to all developers, and most likely tomorrow to all public developers to try out. But today I do definitely want to check out what iPadOS 15 Beta 5 has in store, if there's any changes, anything physical or tangible, or if it's mostly bug fixes. Although we do have a couple of things which did actually kind of bring us back, aka larger icon sizes, which is cool to see on the iPad again. But without further ado, let's figure out exactly what's going on with iPadOS 15 Beta 5. And again, sorry for the echo, we're still kind of building the studio over here a little bit, and little by little, the audio should get a little bit better. But let's get into it. Okay, so let's hop right into this video, everybody. So the first thing that we're gonna see is actually, let's go into the images because I took a screenshot of this. We go into the images, we're gonna see the size of this iPadOS 15 Beta 5 update. So I don't know if Apple meant to do that on purpose, but we have 888.8 megabytes in order to install this. So give yourself, about 2 gigs of storage in order to get this installed correctly. And again, we're dealing with Beta 5. And if we go out of here, go back into the settings, go into general, we're gonna find out exactly what version we're on. So we're on 15.0. If I bring this up, we are on 19A5318F. And I do believe that the last version we had was actually H. So again, we're going down little by little to ideally get that, C, B, A, and then that RC edition, which is that release candidate. When Apple changed it up, I believe last year from the Gold Master or Grandmaster to the RC edition. And that's what we're dealing with. So we are on, like I said, Beta 5 version F. So again, there weren't too many new features that came with this update. Again, we're dealing with a Beta 5, so not too many things are going to change. But one thing that did happen is, I don't know if you guys can tell, but my actual icons are bigger. And the reason they're bigger is because if you go into settings, go into the home screen and dock, you now have the ability to use large icons again down here, which is awesome to see. So if you click on this, you can see that my icons are now back to normal, which are small, which is the way I'm gonna probably keep them just because that's how I like it. But if you want them big, boom, they're now a lot bigger. And one thing that I did want to check out with these new larger icons is how Apple actually restructured the grid. So when you do have widgets, you're going to have a 4x6 icon grid layout. So you can see you have 3 here, so you can probably fit 2 more here. But if you don't have any widgets, then you're actually still with a 5x6. So if you don't have any widgets on the screen, on the home screen, then you can actually add 5 total rows and 6 columns, versus when you do have widgets, you're going to be able to do 4 total rows and 6 columns. That's just something that I did notice that somebody actually asked about on Twitter, so there's your answer. Another tiny little update was actually on the little camera icons. So if you guys compared this little camera icon to Beta 4 and below, it used to have a little shutter button. Something very subtle, nothing too crazy, but it's a nice little change inside of the control center for both iPad and iPhone. And then also we did get a bunch of new splash screens, so I took screenshots of them. If we check these out, we now have a What's New in Maps. So you have interactive globe, discover the natural beauty of the earth with a stunning new interactive globe. All new city experience, so explore cities like New York and Los Angeles with amazing land cover and elevation details. I might actually try this new city experience out because I will be in the New York City area very soon. And then you have finally immersive walking directions. So get where you're going step by step so you can view all the stuff in the real world. And then you also got a splash screen for photos. So you have a shared with you moment, so see relevant shared photos, memories, so you can now discover new music for the memories. So I know that Apple releases memories like little music videos and they put their own music behind it and you can decide which songs you want. They added a bunch of new ones. And then finally you have even more information about that image or that video. So find out where the photo was taken, their camera settings, and the objects and the people around them. So again, they're just adding more and more functionality and again, more statistics and data behind everything that you're doing, which I'm totally okay with. Another thing that I did notice is if you go into settings and then if you go down to Safari, the new thing that we got last beta update, so beta 4, was this new compact tab bar and then the separate tab bar. So compact was what we had originally when iPadOS beta first got released. So you can see nice and normal right there, but then if you get out of it, go here, turn this on, that means that the URL bar is now sitting above your tabs, right? So one thing that I did notice inside of the new settings tab is if you scroll down and keep going down, there's now an accessibility setting down here inside of Safari. Normally to get accessibility settings, you go into accessibility, but here it says show color in tab bar. So I'm not 100% sure what this does. I think it makes the tabs a little bit darker and lighter. So if you look at it here, they look like they're a little bit lighter, but then if you go and actually press on the, do the show color in tab bar, it looks like they're a little bit darker. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100% sure what that's doing quite yet, but it's something to take a look at. And then another thing that I noticed within Safari is if I open up ESPN and refresh it, it shows that I've actually taken a quick note before. So I can just tap on here and see when I did that, when I added it. So you can see I added July 21st as a little show off to show off iPadOS 15. But I think that's cool. So every single time you open up an application or open up a Safari web portal or website that you've already taken a quick note of or bookmark inside of your quick note, it'll show you a little quick note setting right here on the bottom right, which I kind of like. Just a little reminder that it's something that you've jotted down before. So maybe you need to figure out why you jotted it down. Also, shout out Messi. Look at that. Signs 2-year contract with PSG. And we'll learn number 30. Interesting. And that's pretty much all the changes that we noticed inside of iPadOS 15 Beta 5. I'm sure we'll find a couple more, so stay tuned for a follow-up video. But I did want to check out actually battery life, and I want to see how much battery was actually used, because it wasn't used too much over the last 10 days. Again, I was moving, we were doing a whole bunch of stuff. So there wasn't too many days where a lot of screen on time happened. So we're looking at 2 hours and 32 minutes of screen on time. And yes, there was a lot of Peacock being watched. Look at that, 12 hours and 42 minutes. Takes up about 55% of my battery. So we can go to a day like, let's say here, where we're doing 5 hours and 18 minutes of screen on time, but I only use 50% battery, right? So again, if you really want to get that 10-hour battery life, and all you want to do is like watch Peacock and watch Netflix, which I highly recommend Peacock. They have a great library of just different shows and movies and things like that, like Modern Family, Parks and Rec, The Office, list goes on. So big fan of Peacock, as you can see. But you can see that we definitely could have gone at least a 10-hour day if all we were doing was watching videos. So it really just depends on what applications you're using, how often you're using them, and I always recommend going to your 10-day average and seeing which applications were sucking up the most battery. 40 minutes on Netflix was 13%, 3.5 hours on Peacock was 75%, and then I know things like LumaFusion take up way more battery and things like that. So on a day that we were using LumaFusion, we were actually plugged in, so it doesn't take into account the battery usage. But again, use this to really hone in on what's taking up a lot of your battery, what isn't, what you can get away with using, very minimal battery and things like that. But that's going to do it for this view. Let's get out of here and go to the normal view. So like everybody saw, there weren't too many tangible changes. Again, we are on iPadOS 15 Beta 5. That means we're getting closer and closer to that final GM or RC edition, that release candidate that Apple's probably going to give to every consumer in mid to late September when the new iPhones drop. Again, in mid to late September, hopefully. Supposedly they might get pushed back to October, but I hope that doesn't mean they're going to push back iOS and iPadOS 15. But overall, the beta program has been extremely stable, even since Beta 1. Beta 5 is now the most stable that we've seen so far. Now to the point where I'm running iOS 15 Beta 5 on my iPhone, which is my main camera, it's my main phone, it's my main everything. And I usually wait for the public release to actually update that one, but I decided, hey, iPadOS 15, betas 1 through 4 have been doing great. Let me add it to iOS. So I do give a recommendation if you guys want to try it out. Again, if you guys use it on your main device, sometimes it does restart, sometimes some apps need to get reset, but again, I haven't lost any data. Nothing detrimental has happened to my iPad experience, my iPadOS experience while being on the beta program. So if you guys do want to try it out, by all means, give it a go. But like we saw, a lot of these changes are going to be back-end bug fixes, a lot of optimizations to make sure that we're getting ready for that September release. We saw a couple of tangible changes, but as the betas move forward, we're going to see less and less of those, and then we're going to have to wait until 15.1 to see anything big actually happen. I bet you it's going to be released 15.0, in late September, and then we're going to get a 15.0.1 update, because I bet you for some reason there's going to be a ton of bugs when it first releases, and Apple usually follows that mantra with releasing a quick iteration right after to fix everything that happened to everybody else. But that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want to check out these wallpapers, link below. Check out Paperlike, channel sponsor, and then also Tiny Rigs. They're doing some awesome stuff. And I know they're having a big sale soon on Amazon, so definitely stay tuned. But that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.